Welcome back. Well, we have Anthony Liberatore here who's going to talk to us about motions and what it takes to run a meeting. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. And I like the fact that we're going to go over some things because I know we talked about committees last time.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about motions. So, it's tough to get a motion passed, isn't it?
It is. And I do this because I like the people at home to feel they can get involved.
Right.
And so a motion is the means by which business is brought before the assembly or the board. Mm-hmm. And that usually starts with a member proposing a motion to get the board to act on whatever they're proposing. Mm-hmm. And then that's how the whole business is done. And then the motion, there's 3 steps, well actually 6 steps to a motion. The first 3 steps are introducing the motion. A member makes a motion, mm-hmm. another member seconds the motion, and then the chair restates the motion. And that can be tricky because when you restate the motion for the board, you want to do it correctly because it's going to be archived, for future. And seconding a motion doesn't mean you agree with the motion. By seconding the motion, you take it away from the motion maker, and now it belongs to the assembly.
Okay.
And you don't have to agree with the motion, but it's a way to get it on the floor, and deal with it. And the second 3 steps of the motion is debating the motion.
Yes.
And then the chair, when the debate is over, goes to vote. And then the chair has to announce the vote. Mm-hmm. And so there's basic 6 steps for the motion.
Right.
One introducing it, and one debating it, and getting it over with. And so that's how business is done. So when people listening to us on TV should know what we're doing.
So in general, when you debate a motion, is there a time frame that usually is casted to that, or no?
Well, that's up to the board. When we have a motion, it needs to be seconded, as I said, and mm-hmm. then it's open for debate. Mm-hmm. Now, the chair should try to let the motion maker give their argument, if you will, for the motion. Mm-hmm. And in our group, we have agreed to keep that to 3 minutes.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Because our meetings are so long.
Yes.
And then the chair should try to get somebody who's opposed to the motion and go that way. It's hard to do, but that would be the best situation, mm-hmm. so that people listening in can hear the motion, hear an objection, and try to create some kind of fairness,
Sure.
And then hopefully we get that motion on the table, mm-hmm. and then we go around the table, and hopefully we can reach some kind of consensus and pass it. So that's the process.
Okay. Now, I know there are agendas that people can always visit and see on the website, the LagunaWoodsVillage.com website.
Yeah.
And when are those agendas developed?
The agendas are developed during we have a preparatory meeting.
Yes.
A couple weeks before the meeting, and that's when the board of directors decides what we want to have. So, the agenda then is made up in a packet by staff. Mm-hmm. It's put in our mailboxes, mm-hmm. so that we hopefully are prepared for the meeting.
Okay.
So that's how we do it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have an agenda prep meeting. There's a whole set of rules for that. But by having an agenda prep meeting, it gives everybody a chance. There's no secrets. Everybody gets a chance to look at what's going to be talked about.
Okay. And how does something get on the agenda? So, for instance, you have an agenda prep meeting, but how do you know what you're going to cover during that time frame?
Well, we listen to each other, the board and staff, mm-hmm. and we make up the agenda prep meeting with those ideas. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We can say yes, we can say no, we don't want that, that's mm-hmm. not necessary, yes, but that's what the whole idea is.
Okay.
And then it's published, and we have to be careful because I was wrong at one time in David Sterling, 4930, it gives the impression that once the agenda has been published and mailed, you can't change it. But in Robert's rules, the agenda is a proposed agenda until it's accepted by the board.
I see.
And it can be amended before it's accepted. And if you change it after it's accepted, then you take a 2/3 vote. But David Sterling is pretty down the line, number 4930.
And then how do people participate? So if they would like to be on the agenda or a subject matter that is important to them for United, what do they do?
Well, they come up to the kiosk where staff is.
And that's during the meeting itself?
Yeah, or before the meeting. The staff has questionnaires out there.
Okay.
And they can fill out the question, give it to staff, and then, now, if they want to talk about some issue that they have that's not on our agenda, there's a section for that, members' comments. If they want to talk about something that is on the agenda and current, then when that agenda item comes up, we go around the board, and then we'll turn to staff, and staff will introduce the people either from Zoom or there, and they come up to the kiosk and talk to us.
Okay, and they have a short amount of time to do that, right?
Yeah, on the speakers, we limit it to 2 minutes. On the board members, it's 3 minutes.
Okay, so be concise.
Yes.
And get to your points fast.
If you come prepared, I mean, 3 minutes is a lot of time.
You know, it actually is. I mean, we sit here for, 10, 12 minutes, and sometimes it feels like it goes really fast. But I think what happens is when you get up to that podium and you're trying to relay your message, you get nervous because there's people watching, you're presenting to the board, so you might take a little longer. You
know what, though? I used to think when I was doing this for a living, you can be nervous and all, but you have something on your mind. You have a job to do. Get it out there. Stutter, be nervous, but get it out there. Get your message out there.
Right, and don't be afraid to do so. I mean, you guys have a process. Obviously, follow the process, and you will be heard.
Yeah,
most likely. Okay, good. Now, orders of business. Of course, you have a way to do that.
Well, an agenda is a synonym for a program. And how it differs from an order of business is an agenda has ceremonials in it, like the Pledge of Allegiance, or you're introducing speakers. Where an order of business is just the business as stipulated in Robert's Rules and David Sterling.
Okay.
So it's short and concise. It doesn't have any ceremonials in it like we have.
Yes.
And every institution, their boards, or their board authority, has stuff that we call ceremonials that you can put in there, and that's what we do. The Pledge of Allegiance, introduce the press if they're there, and so forth. And so that's the agenda,
Okay.
And it sets up the order of business,
right?
Yeah. But the order of business is a short sequence, established sequence of business. It doesn't have any ceremonials or any of that.
But you still have new business too, right? That's
we have under there. We'll have we'll have members' comments, and we'll have new business, and we'll have unfinished business first. I'm sorry, unfinished business, new business, and we have reports.
Oh yes.
If we have if a director has a special committee, he might want to make a report. But a lot of the reports, the way we run it, are usually in the consent calendar. We covered that before.
Right.
But we can have in this order of business, there is a section called officers' reports. And in our business, we have, at the end of our meeting, we'll have reports, committee reports. And then we'll have GRF committee reports. And that's the way we run our meeting.
Well, it's, you have to be pretty concise, and you have to be, on the ball as much as you can so you don't affect the rules.
Yeah, and I like to do this because I'd like to encourage people at home not to be shy. Don't be afraid to ask a question.
Right.
We work for you.
Right, got it. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for the information.
Yeah,
and
great.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Take care.
And if you want more information about what we've just discussed, of course, you can always go to the LagunaWoodsVillage.com website. You can go to governance boards, and there's lots of information there on all the different boards. And of course, you could always send an email to generalmanager@vms.org. if you have any questions, and we will direct it to the appropriate person. We'll be right back.